on Friday at 2 p.m. against Boston College and get this thing started, because in double elimination, the longer you can delay having to play catch up, the better.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's no surprise, that no secret that you want to get off to a win and get into that winners bracket. And certainly Boston College is a capable program. There's no denying that. They're the 2 seed in the region. Liberty is the 3 seed. So the Eagles are the home team, or will be the home team on Friday, and probably favored. But Liberty actually has a higher RPI than Boston College, and both teams have had some success against their ACC competition this year. So I don't think Liberty will go into that game, scared or timid or feeling like the underdog or anything. I think it's 2 very capable programs, 2 very even programs. We'll just have to see, who's got the hits going and who's able to it always comes down to a few things, right? Pitching, defense, and then timely hitting. So whoever's able to take advantage of that, certainly put yourself in the driver's seat. And then if you can win that game, the winner of that game sets yourself up to take a shot at Georgia. Obviously, it's a really good Georgia team, SEC regular season and tournament champs. They're heavy favorites to win this Athens regional. But if you get 2 cracks at them rather than just one by coming out of the winner's bracket, then that certainly gives yourself more of a chance than if you're able to. Then you have to fight out of that loser's bracket. And obviously, what it does to your pitching as well too. And Liberty does have some pitching depth, and that'll certainly be tested this weekend, as always, in a double elimination regional round.
That's crucial to have that, because ultimately you're going to have to go through multiple games. It can get wonky. You can start getting into hitters friendly type games where you're just trying to cobble together arms, and that's an advantage for the Liberty Flames. John Manson from AseaofRed.com with us in the Fast Lane. A couple more questions. One on the baseball team. Is there anything that happens this weekend that's deemed a success for the Flames, or is right now year 2 of the Bradley LaCroix era getting to this point the success?
Yeah, I mean, I think, even if Liberty were to go 0-2, which, sitting here today, you certainly don't want that, don't expect that. But even if the Flames were to go 0-2 this weekend down in Athens, you have to look back on the season as a success. I mean, the Flames, the first time getting into a regional since 2022, obviously under previous head coach Scott Jackson, who's now at North Carolina, or back at North Carolina, I should say. And, it was a couple of lean years there for the Flames. And last year was some up and downs. Flames struggled in Conference USA play. And this year was the first year in the 3 years in the league that Liberty finished above 500 in conference play. So, not just getting back to regional play, but also earning an at-large. That just goes to show the respect this program has nationally and what they did and accomplished this season. And certainly something to build on. I mean, in the era of the transfer portal, you're constantly having to rebuild and remake your rosters, but being able to do what they've done this season, you certainly can go ahead and consider the season a success. But I think, getting to a regional final is certainly something that's within this team's realm. I don't want to put past them to knock off Georgia. I mean, we know what the Liberty softball team did last year, taking down number 1 Texas A&M. So it can be done. But if you're able to get to a regional final, take out Boston College and go up against a Georgia team, that's just another step in the right direction for this program and getting it back to the level that the Flames were at just a few seasons ago.
John Manson from AseaofRed.com is stopping by with us here in the Fast Lane. John, we are grateful for your time today. We will table the football questions from kickoff times to players and coaches that will be at Conference USA Media Days in mid-July till another date, because there's plenty of time to read the great content at AseaofRed.com. We greatly appreciate your joining us today to talk a little Liberty Flames baseball, and we look forward to football season, because just give it a couple of weeks and that's where we'll be.
Sounds good. Always good talking to you, Ed. Talk to you soon.
Indeed. John Manson with us here in the Fast Lane. That is wonderful from him to get his perspective. By the way, you got to be a little quicker on the hang up, JJ. We're coaching him along here in the Fast Lane. This is day, 3 for you? Day 4. To get our LeBron on.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
But day 4 for JJ in the Fast Lane. Meanwhile, when we return, much more somber note, but it's necessary, and that's NASCAR with the passing of Kyle Busch. Tom Bowles provided great perspective on the French Stretch Happy Hour podcast last night. He'll elaborate on that when we return. Then, on a much happier note, Move-A-Palooza presented by Fleet Feet Roanoke. Saturday, June 20th, Green Hill Park in Salem. The leader of Move-A-Palooza and the leader of Fleet Feet Roanoke, Matt Thompson, will join us then. All that's still to come here on the Fast Lane on the VTRN Sports app and Fast Lane Ed Lane, however and wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you need a new or pre-owned vehicle, but prior credit issues have you worried, see Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today. We can help. Bad credit, no credit, first-time buyer, or even if you just want to change what you're driving now, we're here to get you approved. See us now and start driving the new car or truck you deserve. When it comes to financing, go with Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We're here to help. Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1750 Independence Boulevard in Bedford, MagicCityBedford.com.
The clock is ticking. Time is running out for Virginia citizens to purchase modern sporting rifles and magazines from Big Boys Guns. Beat the July 1st deadline. Right now, the selection is robust at Big Boys Guns. ARs, AKs, and the most popular handguns will soon be banned from sale in the state of Virginia. Don't wait. Visit Big Boys Guns before the inventory is gone and not allowed to return. Shop 24/7 at BigBoysGuns.com and in store on Route 460 in Blue Ridge.
Hi, I'm Al Billingsley, a board member with CASA of Central Virginia. Children who've experienced abuse or neglect often enter foster care feeling scared, confused, and alone. That's where CASA volunteers step in. We stand behind these children to make sure that their voices are heard in court. CASA is looking for caring adults from our community to serve as volunteer advocates. And as a man, I can tell you we're especially in need more men to step up for these kids. If you're ready to make a difference, learn more at cvcasa.org.
Lunchtime just got an upgrade. Stop by Macadoo's for our $8.95 weekday special and grab a legendary sandwich at an unbeatable price. Choose from your favorite classics, the Coney Island, Betty Bob, Ragtime, or Stogie. Classic sandwiches packed with savory meats and flavors in between fresh bread. Make it a meal by pairing your sandwich with a sidekick, a warm cup of soup, or crispy chips. Great food, cozy vibes, and the best deal in town.
It's time to share great food and fun. Just to be there, the only one. Just to be there at Market Deuce.
We'll see you at the Deuce.
Starting a landscaping business, growing your fleet, Miller Built Outdoor Equipment is focused on commercial turf professionals across Central Virginia. We help you choose the right Toro commercial mower, professional handheld equipment, and the right support plan, so your operation grows the right way. Commercial turf is your business. Supporting it is ours. Miller Built Outdoor Equipment on 12th Street in Lynchburg.
Spring is a season of fresh starts, and it's the perfect time to refresh your finances too. Whether you're opening a new checking account, planning a home project, or exploring lending options, Farmers Bank offers personalized service and local expertise you can count on. We're here to help you grow, save, and plan for what's next, this season and beyond. Stop by your nearest branch or visit us online to learn more. Farmers Bank, your community, your bank, your future.
Virginia's source for sports. VTRN Sports, 93.3 FM and 1320 AM Lynchburg.
Step into the Fast Lane 24/7 at Trey Lyle VT and Fast Lane Ed Lane on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, back to the Fast Lane.
So to get my usher on for a brief moment here in the Fast Lane as we welcome you back in, I have a list of topics. Some of them are more time sensitive than other topics. And sometimes the topics seem like they'll be fine in a week and all of a sudden the whole perspective changes. And that's where we are right now as we welcome in Tom Bowles of frontstretch.com, their founder and their NASCAR, one of their many great NASCAR content creators, as Tom is with us in the Fast Lane. Tom, great to be speaking with you. Unfortunately, under the circumstances of the last week with the passing of Kyle Busch. But one of the questions was going to be, Steve O'Donnell and Ben Kennedy and how long till the better Cup car can come for NASCAR. All of that get shelved, and the remainder of the NASCAR season is more trying to press on, trying to keep going, and just getting back to a time where those things can be the topic as opposed to the understandably, completely reasonably, but still cloudy mood on the passing of Kyle Busch as it transpired last week.
Yeah, I think that it's going to take a while for those clouds to lift, Ed. I think that, we're still just 11 days ago, 10 days ago, Kyle Busch was sitting in victory lane in a Truck Series race at Dover, and he's not with us anymore. And I just punch in the gut that was for the sport and for the millions of fans across the country and for everyone in the garage. I was in Indy, not at Charlotte this past weekend, but everybody that we talked to in Charlotte, my reporters on the ground in Charlotte, described it's almost like a black cloud was hovered over the entire sport. Drivers crying in private, drivers crying in public, people in the garage just in this malaise that, it peaked in this emotional Sunday tribute. People haven't seen it on X or in Instagram, with Steve O'Donnell leading the way, the new NASCAR CEO, just the bagpipe tribute with Samantha Lennox and Brexton there and the entire Busch family, making a surprise appearance for the Coke 600. It was one of the most emotional scenes I've seen in NASCAR in the last 25 years, since Dale Earnhardt's death. So I do think it becomes, the Kyle Busch tribute show for at least the next couple of weeks as people process their grief and we head into the summer stretch.
Tom Bowles, frontstretch.com NASCAR reporter and content creator. Tom, was the biggest victory of NASCAR over the weekend just the fact that they all showed up and everybody did their best to continue, knowing that it was not going to be pretty and that the victory was just going to be in trying to press on?
Well, there were so many people in that field that were connected to Kyle. The winner, Daniel Suarez, he was part of Kyle Busch Motorsports. Kyle Busch had a Truck Series team for a number of years and developed a number of drivers on their way up the NASCAR ladder. So he dedicated the win immediately to the Busch family. There were so many people within not just the Chevrolet camp, but the Toyota camp and people that he's been connected to for years, even longtime rivals like Brad Keselowski. Who immediately turned around and they were trying to win that race for him. I think Sunday was all about him, and I really don't see that ending anytime soon. I look back to Dale Earnhardt's death back in 2001. I was just a kid then, but the entire season ended up being, processing Dale Earnhardt's death, going through all the stages and, going through the initial sadness and even toward the end of the year, we had a full year where lap 3 was silent in honor of Dale, on the air for the broadcast. And we're going to see that here for the next couple months. There's just going to be a specter of Kyle over everything, hanging over everything as we head into the summer. And people are working through this, even though he hadn't won a race in 3 years. Even though there was no guarantee he was going to be back at RCR next year, he was still the most well-known driver, or one of the most well-known drivers out there. And, he was an attachment to a previous generation, right? It's almost like an era came to an end, with Busch's death that we're never going to be able to bring back.
You mentioned that. I mean, I know you referenced J.J. Yeley and Jimmy Johnson, but really it's just Denny Hamlin now that's from that era that's still around now. Does the burden get heavier on someone like Denny Hamlin? Or, is there already so much pressure on him having not won a cup championship, really the only thing he hasn't done? He also owns and operates with Michael Jordan, one of the successful teams in NASCAR, that any extra pressure really is nothing different than the pressure he already has.
I don't think the burden's any heavier on Denny, Ed. I don't necessarily think it's about Denny other than, where does NASCAR go from here? You look at the 2008 Daytona 500. So almost 20 years ago, we were doing this last night on Happy Hour. There are only 3 drivers still active that were from that race. Denny's one of them. Jimmy Johnson, who's just running a handful of more races before he's retiring. He's not really full-time anymore anyway. And J.J. Yeley, who just pops up every once in a while with an underfunded team. Those are the only 3 drivers left from that era. And Hamlin's almost guaranteed to go out at the end of next season. So, NASCAR is transitioning to a new generation of stars. We've seen that transition happen over time. You look at, Kyle Busch in the late 2010s was part of the big 3. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick battling for a championship one year, dominated the series. 2 of them are retired and are never going to run another cup race. And the third is no longer with us. So, we're into a new era, and how does NASCAR navigate that new era? And I think that's going to be one of the things that comes out of this, as we look at, the waning popularity of the sport and how it's trying to rebuild. How do the new generation of stars connect with fans that now that Kyle Busch is gone, are they going to keep watching? Are they going to connect to somebody else? We went through this in the aftermath of Dale Earnhardt. I think that's definitely an important question that one can't answer for the next couple months.
Is there a painful part for NASCAR where it's more bad news heaped upon the sport, or does that narrative get overblown, and is that almost impossible to quantify considering just the nature of Kyle Busch passing away and nothing to do with racing? And it's tragic, and frankly, it's sad, but it could have happened to anybody.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to quantify. I think one of the big things that people are struggling through with Kyle Busch, people are comparing this to Dale Earnhardt when he died 25 years ago. Earnhardt's death had meaning long term. As horrible as it was, it saved lives. The Hans device and all the safety things that came out of his death absolutely minimized injuries on crashes going forward. And for a whole generation of drivers, they've had less impact and overall better health from major wrecks, even as the cars have gotten faster. So there was something that you could take from Earnhardt's death that was a positive. Kyle Busch's death, which didn't even occur on the racetrack, you just feel like it was just a tragedy that it's not even that it could have been prevented. It's just one of those that you're struggling to find meaning as to why. Why did this happen? This wasn't a race car that hit a wall at 200 miles an hour. This was a sickness that shouldn't happen to somebody at 41 that progresses to sepsis and death. So I think that's something that really people are struggling with, and it's not going to be something that they're going to be able to stomach in a day or a week. This is going to take months to go through.
There are a couple of leadership parts to this as well that we can discuss, and we will right now with Tom Bowles of FrontStretch.com. One of which is NASCAR in the leadership of NASCAR. You made the great point on the Front Stretch Happy Hour podcast that I listened to today. I guess it was done last night, but I listened to it on my morning run today. And that being Steve O'Donnell. How much does this weekend, I don't like the term validate him as a leader, but how much has he struck the right tone of knowing that this weekend was about empathy, and frankly, the rest of the year is about connecting with people on an emotional level, not just the business of NASCAR level?
Well, look, as I said last night, I think every leader has a moment where you look back and you say, that's where they put their stamp on things. And I think Sunday night was really the first big opportunity under horrible circumstances, of course, but for Steve O'Donnell to put his stamp on things. And I think everybody in NASCAR should be really proud of the leadership that he represented on Sunday night. I think he did an incredible job helping unify this community and bring this community together. NASCAR has always been like that, where it's always been able to come together in times of crisis, but the way he handled things, it was brilliant. And, I think that is a good sign for NASCAR moving forward. We're still recovering from this trial in December with 2311. After the trial, we weren't even sure if O'Donnell was going to survive. Steve Phelps didn't. Steve Phelps was gone from the sport, after that contentious trial. But we no longer have Jim France in charge. We no longer have Steve Phelps associated with the sport. There have already been a lot of internal changes within NASCAR, and Steve O'Donnell is the face of what the new NASCAR is going to be. And he put his best foot forward under the worst possible situation on Sunday night.
Tom Bowles with us here in the Fast Lane. Tom, we'll wrap it up on this one. How much of this weekend is, if there's one thing you can take away, I don't like to call it, a positive, because the Kyle Busch death is sad and it's not a positive, but the fact that NASCAR is a community and people did see that this weekend, that there are a lot of sports leagues and professional sports organizations out there, and I'll put college because it's basically pro and football and basketball. There are a lot of those. NASCAR seems like it is very unique, and that there's a community and familial element that did shine this weekend.
It absolutely did. And like I said, it's a community that comes together in times of crisis, unlike other sports, I think. Not that other sports don't do it, but the way in which NASCAR is able to rally around, whether it's what happened with Bubba Wallace at Talladega during, COVID times, with the noose that wasn't, whether it's this tragedy with Kyle Busch, whether it's the tragedy with Dale Earnhardt, those three things are the first ones that come to mind. But typically, NASCAR fans and the NASCAR community put aside their differences in these moments. And hopefully that coming together feeling in a sport that needs to rebuild and start to build back up its popularity can hang tight through the rest of the season. As people don't just process their grief, they find ways to move forward and figure out where the series goes from here.
Tom, thank you for your time and perspective. I know it's a heavy subject, but it's one that's still prevalent and does need to be addressed. It's at the top of everyone's mind. in particular in NASCAR, but it's a topical thing just in the world of sports in general, the passing of Kyle Busch. We appreciate the deftness with which you and your front stretch team have handled that. Y'all have been just done some fantastic work from last Thursday's breaking news show all the way up to the Happy Hour podcast. I know Bringing the Heat will be great this week with Trey Lyle. No bias in that comment since he's part of our team, Talk Radio Network. But a hat tip to you and your crew. Y'all been fantastic in this.
Thank you very much, Ed. And it's a heavy subject, but it's one that's going to be with us pretty much for the rest of the season. So I wish everyone the best, and thinking about Samantha and Lennox and Braxton and the entire Busch family during what continues to be just a very difficult time for them.
Very well said from Tom Bowles of frontstretch.com. There's no other artful way to transition from that, but we will transition over to, speaking of sports and a community, if you like to be active, a community is so vital to that. We will discuss with Matt Thompson of Fleet Feet Roanoke. They're the presenting sponsor of Move-A-Palooza, Saturday, June 20th, Green Hill Park in Salem, and we'll discuss that all next, and we'll see if he's got an opinion on my question about whether a specific pair of shoes makes you faster or the right pair of shoes makes you faster. That debate from our Trostwall.com Fast Take. We will get clarity from an expert next here in the Fast Lane.
Get more on the Sheeler Motor Mile, your trusted dealer serving Southwest Virginia and surrounding areas for over 50 years. With more selection, more value, and more finance options. Plus, your trade is worth more. Shop local and save more with straightforward pricing, plus exceptional service and selection. Your search ends at the Motor Mile. Choose from over 900 quality pre-owned vehicles, plus a massive selection of new car brands in Southwest Virginia. Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, Subaru, Kia, Chevrolet, Mitsubishi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and now Buick. Plus, the used car superstore. 12 new car brands, 900 used vehicles, one amazing buying experience. Volume selling means volume pricing, and we've got more than any other dealer in the area. The Sheeler Motor Mile delivers choices. Here's the difference. Sheeler owns the finance company and makes getting approved for credit simple and easy on the Motor Mile. Flexible financing options for every budget to get you on the road fast. Get more on the Sheeler Motor Mile with a certified friendly staff and no games, no gimmicks. The Sheeler Motor Mile, now in Christiansburg, Radford, and Pulaski. Call 866-SHEELER1. Always open at Sheeler.com.
Guests are great, except unwanted guests. At Specialty Exterminating, we know the difference. Hi, I'm Sabrina Kennan with Specialty Exterminating. We help you keep unwanted pests out of your home. Now we can keep those reptiles away. Our new reptile repellent is the perfect add-on for your pest prevention service. It's pet and people safe, so it's perfect for any homeowner, especially pool owners and homes in wooded and rural areas. Call us so we can repel the reptiles. Specialty Exterminating, your pest prevention partner since 1979.
Summer, hot, steamy. 3 ingredients for an overheated truck. Overheated trucks is an all too often summer problem for diesel trucks. Don't let it happen to you. Go Wicked. Get your diesel truck service for less at Wicked Diesel in Bedford. Wicked Diesel is offering 20% off AC and cooling system repairs, plus oil change and tire rotation for 20% off. Go to wickeddieselva.com and print out the coupon. Go Wicked. Wicked Diesel, Bedford, Virginia.
What if counseling services were just a click away? With secure, confidential telehealth sessions through Central Virginia Counseling, you can connect from wherever you feel most comfortable, anywhere in Virginia. No commute, no waiting rooms, just personalized care designed to meet you where you are. Support is closer than you think. Start your journey today on your terms. Visit centralvirginiacounseling.com to get started.
Are you sick of running your dryer longer just to dry your clothes? It might not be a dying appliance. It might be a clogged up dryer vent. Call Black Goose Chimney Service to find out. Their certified ventilation specialists don't just diagnose chimneys. They also clean dryer vents through the entire ventilation system. Get peace of mind as you're protected from lint clogging your dryer vents, one of the most common causes of house fires. Call Black Goose Chimney Service today and visit blackgoose.net to schedule your dryer vent cleaning.
The clock is ticking. Time is running out for Virginia citizens to purchase modern sporting rifles and magazines from Big Boys Guns. Beat the July 1st deadline. Right now, the selection is robust at Big Boys Guns. ARs, AKs, and the most popular handguns will soon be banned from sale in the state of Virginia. Don't wait. Visit Big Boys Guns before the inventory is gone and not allowed to return. Shop 24/7 at BigBoysGuns.com and in store on Route 460 in Blue Ridge.
Springtime is AC tune-up time, and all it takes is one call to Terrell E. Mosley to get your system ready to roll. And their tune-ups come with a guarantee that if you have a breakdown, they'll credit the entire cost of the tune-up toward the cost of the repair. Save energy and prevent breakdowns. All it takes is one call to the comfort people at Terrell E. Mosley, Lynchburg's oldest and trusted HVAC contractor for 90 years. Visit TerrellEMosley.com.
Step into the fast lane 24/7 at Trey Lyle VT and Fast Lane Ed Lane on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, back to the fast lane.
So the whole point of the TrostLaw.com fast take that I did this afternoon, and it is up at Fast Lane Ed Lane on your social media platforms, is not to say you cannot buy the $500 super shoe, as it's called. Because if you like it and it does fit you, that's great. But it's not guaranteed to make you a PR runner in a particular event. It doesn't mean you're going to be like Sebastian Salwe or Yomif Kahela, who both ran a sub 2-hour marathon in London earlier this year. Because, in fact, I got two shoes. One is a Mizuno Wave Rider. It's my regular training shoe. I've got a different kind to run races in. I have some that I do speed workouts in, and none of them are that because it's the shoe that fits my body, my stride, where I am, the way God made me, all of those things. And now somebody that can totally debunk what I said or maybe validate it, I love confirmation bias, is Matt Thompson, who is with Fleet Feet Roanoke. They are the presenting sponsor of a Move-A-Palooza. More on them in just a moment because they're coming up in about 3 weeks, Saturday, June 20th at Green Hill Park in Salem. Matt, before we talk about this event, though, do you need to debunk what I said earlier today and have said, or is there some truth to my belief that the super shoe might be right for you, but if it's not right for you, another shoe can help you achieve whatever your fitness, health, and movement goals are?
Well, Ed, you know it's more nuanced than that, right? So you showed your Wave Rider, and then you showed the Adios Pro 4 there. So I guarantee you're faster in that Adios Pro 4 than you are in that Wave Rider. However, it's not the Adios that puts you into that speed. You've put in the work, you've done the training, and then on race day, there are products that can maybe give you that extra edge, but you're not cutting an hour off your marathon time by throwing a pair of shoes on. That's for sure.
If they were an hour off your marathon time, instead of being $500, they'd be like $5,000, $50,000, right?
Yeah, and those shoes are also, I see it so much on course. Those shoes are designed, those elite shoes are designed for elite runners with elite gaits. And we see folks out there putting the money into the shoes rather than the time into the road, into the rest of themselves. I can tell you, walking in those shoes is not fun. Walking in those shoes is not fun. And the Alpha Fly or Vapor Fly are some of the ones I see the most out there that aren't great structurally for folks who don't have that gait and don't have that speed. And walking, most of your marathon in those is not a good day. So I think finding the right shoe for you and making sure that you're matching the profile that shoe was designed for is critical.
So how important is it? And we will get in again. And people probably, I imagine, by the way, can people do this at Move-A-Palooza Saturday, June 20th, where they can start to sample shoes from Fleet Feet Roanoke, among the other offerings from other vendors, and really figure out what makes sense for their body and how they were made?
Absolutely. We'll have demos there at Move-A-Palooza, but we have samples here at Fleet Feet every day. Our fit specialists are trained to hear what your goals are. See what you've been, what activities have you been engaged in up to this point, and then recommend products that fit that. We're not going to put on a super, trainer onto you if you're looking just to be comfortable there at the hospital. But if you want to, like somebody like yourself, shooting for that PR, still trying to regain those days of yesteryear, Ed, throwing those carbons on you to shape. It is significant time. I mean, the first time I threw a plated shoe on, it was a material difference in my pace. But it's not going to turn you from average to elite, but it'll turn you from good to better for absolutely.
Matt Thompson with us here in the fast lane. He's talking about now Move-A-Palooza presented by Fleet Feet Roanoke. It is Saturday, June 20th at Green Hill Park in Salem. Matt, first of all, you're with Fleet Feet Roanoke. Why is Fleet Feet Roanoke debuting this event and putting on what is expected to become an annual tradition now in the Roanoke Valley and in the region?
Well, Ed, one reason is because I'm crazy. I just think Fleet Feet Roanoke has a responsibility to the community to bring movement outside the walls of our building. We are the hub of all things movement here in the region. I think we have a responsibility to allow people to experience that. So we'll be taking over Green Hill Park with the whole idea and the intention of lowering the barrier of entry. People who might be too intimidated by a race. We're going to have a 1/4 mile loop. Make it a mile, make it a 1/4 mile. Just see what it is that moves you. It's not just running. We're going to have walkers, people with strollers, people with dogs. We're also going to have folks like Orange Theory bring in rowers with us, and you can do a rower competition. We're going to have We Wheel there, so they're teaching little kids how to ride bikes. We're going to have salsa dancing there. So it's all about find what moves you. And some folks will find running or find walking or races, and some folks will find something else. And I think it's really just being active. That's what we're trying to promote. Come out and try a number of different activities and just see what excites you, what gets you off the couch, what gets you inspired to be a better version of yourself. And that's the whole idea of Move-A-Palooza.
You mentioned the term wellness hub as a descriptor for Fleet Feet Roanoke. When people think Fleet Feet, traditionally running comes to mind, and running is part of it. How much, though, of your mission at Fleet Feet Roanoke and the Move-A-Palooza mission is to reach out to people who, let's be honest, some people running's not their thing, but they want to be the best, most healthy version of themselves?
Yeah, so running is our core. That's where we'll gain most of our insight from running. But running gives us a great foundation to talk about ailments, so plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendonitis or any of these ailments that we see in the store daily. We have the tools, the recovery tools, the braces, the compression, the different elements that we can, even balms, to help someone get through that injury, get out of the injury, have injury prevention. We're also hydration and nutrition experts, so we come in and we have the right products there. So yes, while running is our core, it's not all we do. It just gives us the platform that we need to help folks who are walking is just running in slow motion, right? So everyone's hopefully walking and moving. How do we have you do that on a daily basis pain-free? How do we keep you engaged, whether at work or play? So that's kind of how we're doing. We're investing in technology such as Run DNA to help give us gait analysis for runners, to give them coaching cues to improve their form. But just on a regular day-to-day basis, we have our 2 scanners. Both give us a 3D image of the foot. The other one's a pressure plate analysis, just to see how are you moving? Are you shifting to the left? How are your arch profiles? And can we provide solutions to help you just move more comfortably or more efficiently?
Matt Thompson stopping by with us here in the Fast Lane. We're discussing Move-A-Palooza. It's Saturday, June 20th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., by the way. Should be specific about the time for that. All day, basically, at Move-A-Palooza. You mentioned the ability to connect with people. How much of the event putting this on and how much of your meeting with vendors for this event has been focused on people that can provide not just a one-time transaction for somebody on Saturday, June 20th at Green Hill Park in Salem, but a true community which can serve them Saturday, June 20th and well beyond that date?
I mean, that's the goal. This is not a retail event. It's free to the public. It's free to the vendors who are attending. It's really a collection of like-minded folks. I really want to thank Carhu, On, Ultra, and Brooks, 4 major brands in the industry that are helping support us as sponsors of the event. And they believe in what we're doing. They believe in the mission of connection, community. There'll be, we're creating a little bit of a, like I said, the wellness hub, the network. Alchemy Physical Therapy and Yoga 6 Yoga and a lot of these players that are here locally are friends of the shop, and we're just connecting folks with each other. Water by Design to brings cold plunges. These are all tools. We can't supply everything, but we can be the hub that can help point you in the right direction, depending on what your needs are. And the whole idea of Move-A-Palooza is that you can then connect with so many different local businesses that are supporting wellness, supporting movement, including some of the largest brands in the world, honestly. So everything from the local shop to some of the largest names in the game are going to be there.
Just a couple more minutes with Matt Thompson here with us in the Fast Lane. We're discussing Move-A-Palooza presented by Fleet Feet Roanoke. It's Saturday, June 20th, all day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Green Hill Park in Salem. This event is a regional event, right? I mean, this is for people that want to get connected, and it is the most basic principle. You know, when people have any healthcare need, it's worth the drive if it can make you the best version of yourself and you can feel the best you possibly can.
That's the plan. Regional for sure. We're promoting this across the region. I'm really excited to see Blacksburg and Christiansburg participating in it this year. I want to give a shout out to the Christiansburg Run Club. Jonathan Roberts is doing a fantastic job building this organic community down there, and he'll be joining us. So it's really it's not just a Roanoke thing. It's in Salem for a reason. It is easily accessible through 460 or 81. We'd love to see some of those Lynchburg folks come join us as well. We're promoting it down in Martinsville as well. So it's really we want it to be as big, if not, or comparable to what GoFest here is in the region. We want it to be the size of that. We want it to be an annual event that people look forward to. And that's the goal. Create moments to connect with people. That's it.
My last question for you, Matt, is what else do people need to know about Move-A-Palooza?
Well, I think the one thing one of my business directors, Bobby Grimes, would be upset if I didn't let everybody know that we do accept HSA and FSA here at the store because we are a wellness center. But I think it's whatever it is that's preventing you from moving, or whatever intimidation factors you might have, or if you just want to connect with people, this is going to be the easiest way of entry into any of these pieces. Supportive people celebrating. One thing we haven't highlighted specifically is at 8 o'clock we'll be doing a Sunset 5K there at the park. So all day there's that quarter-mile route, and then that will transform into not that route, but a separate route will then turn into a 5K, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a foam party. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have food trucks, beer trucks. Thank you, Parkway Brewing. So it's a big festival of exercise and movement.
I misspoke, Matt. The big run is next Wednesday.
The big run is next Wednesday
in Roanoke, and it totally escaped my mind as many things have started to do.
And we keep on trying to do bigger and bigger things, and the big run has turned into like almost an afterthought. We have twice as many participants already signed up this year than we have last year. The big run is yet another celebration. It's on Global Running Day. It's on Wednesday, the 3rd of June, so it's just next week. We're really excited about that. We actually acquired additional medals and T-shirts because the participation is up this year versus last year. And we're really excited about that. But that yet is another event that is set up to encourage people to participate who otherwise wouldn't. This is a celebration. It's not just for the elites of Ed Lane, but it's also for people trying to knock out their first 5K. We have a whole No Boundaries program, which is a Couch to 5K program. This will be their graduation run for that, and we're really excited to celebrate those 30 people completing their first 5K ever. So that's awesome.
If you take one thing away, it's all about community, whether it's the big run, whether it's Move-A-Palooza presented by Fleet Feet Roanoke. Big run next Wednesday, June 3rd, 6 p.m. Fallon Park. And the Move-A-Palooza event is Saturday, June 20th, 10 a to 10 p at Green Hill Park in Salem. It's all worth the drive because you'll feel good then, but you'll feel good afterwards, and you'll have a community to support you throughout that journey.
Feel even better afterwards, Ed.
That's the name of the game. Matt Thompson with us here to wrap up the Fast Lane. Matt, great to speak with you. Thank you so much. And unfortunately for me, and thankfully for you, you did not have to see my face in person today.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty even through the digitally, Ed.
Oh, yes. Somebody can fake it till I make it, I guess. Matt, thank you for your time. It was good to chat.
Appreciate you.
Indeed, Matt Thompson with us here to wrap up the Fast Lane. That does it for us today. W227BG, Timberlake, WVGM, Amherstburg, WMNA, Gretna, Danville, Southside, now to Freddie and Harry in progress. And then at 7:30 tonight, can Carolina go up 3-1 on the Montreal Canadiens? We'll find out later tonight on the VTRN Sports app.
The Steelers, they play the Jaguars, and then they play the Buffalo Bills within their first 4 games. Those are 4 teams that made the playoffs a season ago.
On the ice, the Canadiens down 2-1 will seek to tie the